is going to be a drag race. Half a kilometre down towards turn 1. Feeney got the job done last time. The drag race commences, and Feeney's done it again as he pulls second gear. And he's got a car length on Di Pasquale as they all duck and dive to try and find cover on the run down to 1. Their line astern in the first 4 positions is Feeney, it's Di Pasquale, it's Allen, and then it's Waters. Heimgartner is on the outside, too wide and on the grey. Do we get through turn 1 cleanly? We didn't last time. I hold my breath, but fortunately the pack comes out the other side this time.
Nicely done. And through the fast left and right there, they've been able to negotiate the run into turn 5. Have they got in there okay? Yes, they have. Well done.
Feeney got a car length. It's a nice clean start through 2 critical corners through 1 and 5. And now negotiating that very congested, tight and tricky hairpin. Further afield, we've got Kostecki forward, LeBrock, Murray and Courtney. That is our top 10. Up at the top of the circuit, and remembering that they're still feeling their way. These tyres are not yet up to temperature or pressure, and these motor cars are going to feel demonstrably different to the way in which they felt in the previous race.
Young Kai Allen's done a nice job off the line now. He's been able to grab Cam Waters. Waters has dropped 1 spot, and through the field, just see them there, a little bit more contained on the opening lap for this one, fortunately, given the chaos we saw in the previous race.
Brock was very deep into turn 1 then, and you could see it was almost a car width wider than Anton through 1. Trouble down here. Fortunately for Richie Stanaway down here at turn 1, and I doubt whether he was a solo flyer down there. There would have been somebody else involved. Great shot of the hairpin. Turn number 6, second gear. You can see how much some of them are using the curb to hook the cars up and over and fix them into position there to make sure that they're right on the line. It is a passing spot, but you've got to be well and truly up on the inside with real authority before you can do it.
So here's the start replays. So the initial jump by Brock was really good, and then Anton decided to move it over to the left-hand side. We also saw Cam Waters didn't make his normal good start on the inside, and Kai Allen in P4 was able to get across in front. So Anton played the safe game and pulled back in behind Feeney, so he's not to be attacked on the inside.
And listening to Anton's onboard, it wasn't like he really bogged down, but it was just a whisker slower than Feeney. This is the typical congestion sill panel cam of all the wheel-to-wheel stuff that goes on down here. And further back in the pack, the wilder the action.
This will be the Stanaway point, and I think it's one of the Grove cars. Yeah, its Payne is just down the inside. Again, that angle doesn't really show us how far up the inside he was.
The decision is that no further action to be taken on Matt Payne for that move down the inside. Watching Will Brown just trying to negotiate the inside line on turn 1 here with Thomas Randall. The problem with this one is that you end up in an awkward spot when you get down to turn 5. Now, if you can stay there, which is something of a challenge, then you might get away with it. But as you just saw, the long way around eventually feeds you to the dirt if you're not careful, and that's precisely what just unfolded. Nick Percat's trying to buy into this one. He's up on the outside of Will, who's got his hands full at the moment. So when this stuff's going on, it's just all about innate race driving, trying to figure out where the combatants are and how to best deal with it. So he's got it all going on in front, alongside and behind, and that's a big challenge when you're sitting in that position at the moment in 16.
Yeah, and there's a fair bit of vocal activity over the radio after that little exchange. And as it was, Will was trying to get by Randall, and he almost lost a spot to Percat. And now Percat's trying this on, down in behind there. So LeBrock trying down the inside on Wood. Wood's been able to prevail. And then just in behind where Ryan Wood is parked, Matty Payne now putting huge pressure on. He'll dive to the right in the braking area here. And he does dive to the right. Is he up there front of? That's close. They've ended up wheel to wheel on the exit of 5. Where is he? There he is, still there.
I can still see the windscreen strip. And so this is awkward, and he'll run him out of road here, and he has. So he's finished him off on the exit of turn 6, and it's dropped a couple of spots in the process as Will Davison buys in here as well.
That was close.
So the stop for Brodie then, we're measuring it at 8.5 seconds. His teammate Will Davison was 10.9 seconds to take on 4. Now you compare that to Percat, who did rears. It was 3 seconds for him. Oh, is he going to get away with it? He did. Lucky they spotted each other. Well, certainly in the case of Mostert, he saw the dive bomb coming and he opened the steering and avoided contact. And for Will at that point, he was in there anyway, so there wasn't much he could do if that gap diminished. So just finishing that comment, Percat, 3-second stop, and for Matt Payne, it was a 3.6 second stop.
That's clever. Mostert then, and he was going to be drilled.
He was going to be absolutely drilled.
And that would have been a result of it that would have made the car spin on the way into that corner, because the car's very nervous, on the borderline of locking the rear wheels on the way in there all the time. So for Mostert, that was smart, just to release the steering, move it slightly wider, and Will Davison was able to put that move on. So watch this. Will sort of half feints right, then fires down the left, and watch how he just right at the end just shifts the car in the Optusmobile to avoid the contact that was going to ensue if he didn't.
Well, Will had sent it.
Yeah,
and there was no withdrawing the parcel. Will Brown's come in from 6th place now, 2nd in the championship, 107 points adrift, and he's left his compulsory stop till later in the game. We've got 18 laps remaining. Remember, I spoke pre-race about, oh, this is a move and it's a good one, and it's one of those moves that you rarely see working well through turn 14, and a nice job, well done, Will Davison. 4 tyres for Will.
Go.
And launches. He's got to get around that cone marker down there, and then the deep restrict sign. He flicks that electronic pit lane speed limiter off from 40 kilometres an hour and gets back onto it. Has to have a bit of a look where he threads in. It's awkward. Chaz spotted him and was able to pull easily down to the inside.
Sorry, I'll bail in, come back.
Yeah, it's all going on. Sorry, Larko. We wanted to hear your story, but there's that much going on the racetrack at the moment as Kai Allen comes in. He could be in search of his best ever career result, by the way, if he continues as he is. His best previous has been a 7th. So this is a big moment for him. Oh, that's a problem for them if it gets away. They've got to be in control of everything. So where does he drop in? So there's a lot going on. Look at that pack that's coming out of the 14th turn at the moment. And it's an angry pack, and they're all fighting vigorously for position. And now Kai Allen rejoins with a couple of cold tyres to deal with here. He's got Bryce Forward ranging up on the outside. And have a look further back in the pack. They're wriggling all over the road there at the moment. Feeney, meantime, has got 3.7 seconds over Di Pasquale. So it's starting to unpack and boil up here at the moment as there's moves going on at the back of the pack. Waters has got his elbows up high and wide here at the moment. He's got his hands well and truly full with Cooper Murray as Di Pasquale comes in for position number 2. The race is starting to go off in all directions here at the moment, but Feeney's still got control.
There's plenty going on in the midfield here now. And what does the undercut do? Oh, a little bump there on the way out of turn 6. That does look like a slower stop, that one there for Anton, so that will really hurt when we start to compare it against the Feeney stop.
Meantime, Courtney mixed up in this battle. We've got David Reynolds in front. He's got Will Brown in behind. We've got Will Davison, who's made some nice gains at turn 14, and as I suspected before, that pit lane incident, car number 26 for Kai Allen is under investigation for letting that wheel get into the lane out there. That's a no-no. Look at this stuff going on further back in the pack. They're crisscrossing every which way at the moment. You've got James Courtney wandering around the road. He is literally sticking his nose on the rear bumper of the Willmobile, of Will Brown's car there at the moment. It is all going on as our race leader comes in. He came in with a margin that was solid over James Golding, who stays out.
You'll probably find that the Kai Allen penalty be a team penalty rather than a driver penalty.
On the board. Build up brake pressure, the car goes up. One more bay, swing across now.
Yes.
Beautiful, mate. Lane is clear, standing right. Get ready, go,
wow.
go.
What? That's the best stop by a mile.
post-race that car 26 pit stop, that investigation. The race control had just popped up as well. Nice efficient stop. So it was 3.7, 3.8 seconds the margin Fini to Di Pasquale prior to Anton's stop. When I say fair, I'm not talking about adjudicating whether it's right or wrong. I mean, that is a fair penalty. When you cop 15 seconds, that's a big one. We saw 5 earlier in the day. So whatever David's done, the umpire doesn't like it, and he's given him a proper rap for it.
Now, how's that pass, Neil? Kai Allen has just rounded up Kostecki into turn 1, and that puts him on the podium. For a young man that has not raced at this venue, that is a fantastic achievement.
And not terribly far away from turning the ripe old age of 20.
Yeah.
On the 26th of June, 5 days from now. So, yeah, that's a great performance and deserving.
But remember, he was 4th before the stops, and after the stops just hasn't been able to make inroads. He's obviously trying very hard here with forward. The interesting thing here will also be, can Heimgartner make a move on Kostecki?
And can Waters make a move here on forward? He's tantalisingly close to being able to answer that question in the affirmative. He just leans on the door. We're riding every millimetre of the way. He's pulling gears through the high-speed roller coaster up to turn 5. This gets really challenging when you're on the outside at turn 5, because if you don't get courtesy, you'll get fed into the weeds. And so Waters wakes up to that one, jumps to the right, tries to find a different way round. Forwards a wake up, covers the inside at the hairpin. Great racing.
Yeah, well done. Great exchange. Cam looks like he's got a little bit of pace.
He went back to first gear to try and fire it out the other side there, Waters. He's got a little edge at the moment over forward, but trying to find a way to make it apply is something of a challenge. This is the battle for 6th and 7th, and that's why I said the back end of the top 10 at the moment, far from resolved. He's got a good exit here, and that'll make Pricey vulnerable down the other end. So he's going to read the part number on the boot lid of this thing all the way down the straight. There'll be nothing in it, and watch to see whether Waters has a jink at the very end.
And Heimgartner up in front, puts a move on Kostecki, dives down the inside, grabs him. Now, can he get down the inside this time, Cam Waters? So that's the move that was just up ahead of the battle that we were following. Now, Cam will try to plunge this car down the inside into turn 5.
And these two behind might even get to Kostecki, given the age of Brody's tyres. And there's the move on.
He plunged down there, but he wasn't able to quite get it done. Forward blocks him into turn 6, into the hairpin. And that brings Brown into the battle.
And it's brewing up, isn't it? We've only got less than 3 laps remaining. So this stuff is far from sorted at the moment. Oh, we've got trouble here, and we've got Reynolds pointing in the wrong direction, and that was Will Davison out there as well. And so there's a 15-second penalty already hanging over the head of David Reynolds. If that car can't be moved, and we've got some damage on this car as a result of whatever that happened between these two. Oh, the front right corner of that thing's a crockpot.
I think at this stage.
So here's what happened. Oh, it's all happening. So Randall was into Courtney. So it's Skittles in Darwin turn 6.
I don't know how to explain that.
I think it's a 10-pin bowling manoeuvre up here.
So does Randall cause it with the spear? Does he get Courtney first? I think he does.
Yeah,
in that other shot.
I think you'll find it's got all the hallmarks of a bit of a knock-on as Waters is defending vigorously down here into turn 1. And he's running wide under pressure as well. My goodness me, we're seeing it all unfold at the back end, and we've gone yellow out there.
Safety car.
Speed limiters activated in 10, 9,
with
8,
2 laps
7,
remaining.
6.
So unfortunate whenever we end up with a safety car intervention at the back end, but insufficient time to run that under green at the back end. So the cars will come down here line astern. So it's been a perfect score so far for Brock Feeney. So far this weekend, he has had 2 pole positions and he has had 2 race victories. So he's stuck.
Anticlimactic, but far out, great race. Awesome.
Exactly the right words. Thank you.
Good
Finish
summary.
the sentence. Thank you for that, Brock.
End of the day, it's 1.1 seconds, but really these margins that you're seeing are very much skewed because of the late race BP safety car. So Anton De Pasquale, his first podium at Team 18, first since Topol last year when he won the Jason Richards Memorial Trophy. Nice recovery from Heimgartner. It started as a bit of a, not sure what kind of day they're going to have at Brad Jones Racing, but they ended up with 2 cars inside the top 10. Bryce Woods had a really good day at home. Nick Percat, first to stop, he ended up 11th, and he had a queue of cars in behind him. David Reynolds, man, never got to the checkered flag in that one. Richie Stanaway with power steering dramas. Jackson Evans never got the start off the back of the nasty crash he had earlier today.